For day 2 notes, we have many different topics that we're going to cover, many different types of quadrilaterals. So the first quadrilateral we cover is parallelograms. And parallelograms, they looked at that rectangle that's been like tilted to the side. And here you see there's a symbol for that. It's just a tiny little parallelogram. Parallelogram is defined as a quadrilateral with both pairs of opposite sides congruent. Sides that do not share a vertex, and angles do not share a side, which are opposite angles. And then consecutive angles are of a polygon that share a common side. So for example, like if I was talking about this angle, what is its consecutive angle? It could be this one, or it could be this one. It just couldn't be the opposite angle. Okay, it has to be the one like next to it. So what are the properties of parallelograms? These 5 properties you will see come up over and over again. So first of all, opposite sides are parallel, opposite sides are congruent, opposite angles are congruent, consecutive angles are supplementary, and diagonals bisect each other. So in example 1, okay, each quadrilateral below is a parallelogram. Okay, for AD, it's the opposite of BC, which is 8. And DC is the opposite of AB, which is 15. So 8, 15. Angle A is consecutive, so that's next to angle D. And so this one is 180 subtracted 68. So 180 minus 68 gives me 112. Now, angle B is opposite of angle D, and those are congruent. So that's 68. And angle C is opposite of angle A, and those are congruent. 112. Okay. In part B, opposite angles are congruent. So the first thing they want to know is what's x. So if they want to know what's x, we need to set these equal to each other to solve. So we're just doing a very simple equation. So if I subtract 4, we get 2x. If I add 15, we get 26. And we divide by 2, we get 13. Now to get angle A, I just plug 13 back into 6x minus 15. That gives me 78 minus 15, which is 63. But it also asks for angle B. And B, if we know that this is 63, B is consecutive to A, which means that you're going to have to subtract that from 180. And if I subtract that from 180, we get 117 degrees. Okay, now in letter C, we have RSTU is a parallelogram. Find the following information. So UT is a 27 because it's the opposite of RS. ST is 18 because, again, it's opposite of RU. VS is 7 because diagonals bisect each other, so this and this are congruent. VT, well, it's half of 30 because RT is 30. The whole thing is 30. If we cut it in half, we get that each one of these is 15. In letter D, ABLE is a parallelogram. Find the following information. So EL is opposite of 15. ABL. So we're looking at this whole angle, and it's opposite of E and E and B are the same, so it's 40 degrees. Because 40 represents this whole thing, not just this little piece, it's the whole thing. Okay, for ELB, I need to know what is this angle. And so that is both of these added together. So, first of all, we could say, okay, well, these are consecutive. And 180 minus 40 is 140. So this angle is 140 degrees. Okay, and then we have LF. So LF is the other half of AF, so 6. Okay. Okay, and then lastly, for E, it says that FAST or FAST is a parallelogram. Can you find the following? So for X, I would say, well, opposite sides are congruent, so I would set these equal to each other. So if I subtract 5 and I add 25, I get 32, so X is 8. For Y, I'm given down here that the measure of angle FAS is 2Y plus 4. So FAS, that's this entire angle up here. And that is going to be equal to this angle here, 20. So I'm going to say 2y plus 4 equals 20. So y is 8. Okay. It also asks us, what is the measure of angle FAS? So if you plug 8 into y, you should get 20. But I do know it's 20. We know that because that's 20, it has to be 20. Now for TSA, so that would be this angle here, this entire angle. TSA, again, these are consecutive, so 180 minus 20 gives me 160. Okay. FE, right here, is the same as ES, so 21. And TS, we're just going to plug X back into one of those. So if I plug my 8 for X back into this one, I get 40 plus 7, and that's 47.